pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall.
Hmm.
And I think if I look at everything that's going on in this world, in this time now, just because I'm living in it, it's pride. Like when I see, the news, when I'm around certain people, um, it's they're just full of pride, man. Like, you know, they they haven't done anything wrong. Um, like everything is, I don't know, like their stuff don't stink.
Hmm.
And and that's why it's good to read the scriptures, because it's supposed to reflect back to you your transgressions. So as you read this, obviously we shouldn't be judging anyone, because we'll be judged by the same measure, but we should be looking at ourselves, because even pride, it's a funny one. Like a little bit of pride is like enough just to creep itself in your life, and the
Hmm.
destruction of it is it's incredible. Like I think before anything else, because I think pride is the gateway drug, like to other transgressions. If you think about, like, greed and everything else, or other things that I don't even want to talk
Hmm.
about, it starts with pride. Like you think you're mightier than everybody, you think you're smarter or whatever it is than everybody, and it creeps in through your life, and next thing you know, it has a grasp on your life, and it can touch anyone, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so difficult, I think, for leaders in the body to be leaders. And that's why I think that there needs to be this exchange between the body and the leader of, yes, I understand that you're our spiritual head or elder or whatever it may be, but you have to take responsibility of your own self, because then they start putting man above God. And then that
Hmm.
man, because of us, that man becomes prideful. And now he elevates himself above everybody. And that's where it starts, right? And you see that through the scriptures of maybe David, and Solomon and all these men that, end up having a big
Yeah.
fall. So
Yeah. I
that
think,
really touched me. And there's this movement, there's this pride movement we all know about.
hmm
They they hit that hard. You know what I mean? So it's that ought to say something.
Yep. Yeah. Well, one thing it says is that it can't last, that it will come down. Let me let Paula in. Um, yeah. Once think you that you know better than God. Yeah. There are no boundaries. I mean, you can get into all kinds of trouble after that. Think about some of the examples of pride and falls in scripture. I mean, not Babylon, Babel is the obvious one. Uh, you know, Nimrod or whoever it was that was in charge at Babel was saying, look how great we are. We can build this great big tower. And whether he was building a high place to worship or whether, whatever the thing was, it was about pride. It was trying to make a name for mankind as opposed to God. And so God said, now look what you can't do, because you can't even talk to each other. Um, and I think that, we have spent, ever since then, humanity has been trying to undo what God did through empire or alliances. And now we've got things like, we had the League of Nations after World War I, and then the United Nations, and, all of these organizations that, they say that they're looking for world peace. Really what they're looking for is world domination. They want to concentrate power of the whole world in the hands of a few, because those people believe they know better than God. And that's never going to end well. Nations are part of God's plan. He wants humanity divided, because when we are too united, we get into trouble. There's
Yeah.
another one, another example. I think it was King of Babylon. in somewhere in Isaiah. I don't remember the exact passage, but it's a double entendre between the king of Babylon and Satan. He's talking about, look how beautiful you are, and had all these jewels, and you had everything somebody could want, but yet you still wanted more. And so God had to bring you down. And there was a specific passage that another one in Isaiah. This is a little bit lesser known example. I'm not going to read the whole passage here, but it's verses 8 through 21. I'm just going to read the first few verses. All the people will know what Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria say in pride and in arrogance of heart. The bricks are fallen, but we will rebuild with cut stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will replace them with cedars. Therefore Adonai raises up Rezin's adversaries against them and spurs on his enemies. They are Arameans from the east and the Philistines from the west. They will devour Israel with open mouths. For all this, his anger is not turned away, yet his hand is still outstretched. And it wasn't just foreign enemies that God sent. He caused a civil war too. Manasseh rose up against Ephraim. So the two brother tribes, the sons of Joseph, had a civil war between them. And I don't remember who it was. Some politician, I think in the 90s, maybe 90s or 2000s, actually quoted verse 9 as if it was a good thing. It might have actually been after, like George Bush after 9/11. I don't remember for sure. But he quoted this: the bricks are fallen, but we will rebuild with cut stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will replace them with cedars. As if this is a good, inspiring message. But no, God brought these people down, and instead of learning the lesson, they said, oh, we're going to rebuild. We're going to be stronger than ever. And God's like, no, you aren't. And he took away their ability to even rebuild anything. And they were eventually just, invaded by Assyria and scattered across the world. Sorry, go ahead, Carlos.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I think you're right. I think it was GW that said that one.
It was.
Yeah.
And it's mentioned in the book The Harbinger by Jonathan Kahn. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people have recommended that book to me. I haven't read it.
It's in that
I've only
book.
read one of Kahn's books, and I honestly wasn't really that impressed, so I haven't read any others.
It's the first Harbinger, I think. I think there's two Harbingers. He mentions the first Harbinger saying, he mentions that George W. Bush said that after 9/11, so.
Yeah, somebody, it's one thing for Hollywood to really mess up Bible quotations. It's a whole nother thing for presidential speechwriters. I mean, I hope somebody got fired over that.
Probably got promoted.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and you still see it now. I mean, you still see people, all kinds of different organizations trying to save us from whatever they think they are. And it's not even these like even at a lower level. I mean, you have teachers, and you even have parents thinking that they're the ones that can make a change. And I'm not saying they can be a part of it, but nothing can be done without the Father, through Yeshua. Like nothing can be done. I think that even people, like when they wake up in the morning, they honestly in their minds and in their hearts think that they can make a difference on their own. And to me, if you're not waking up every morning and laying your day and your hopes and your dreams and your will at the feet of Yeshua, then that's prideful, because that means you think you can do it in your own strength. And it's impossible. You're going to get, it may look like it's working out for you, and you're going to get to your 60s, 70s, I don't know, retirement age, and you're going to feel all proudful, right? Pride that you think you did that, just to see it all come down eventually in one way, shape, or another. So it's not even all these big organizations that are, thinking that they can, fix you by giving you something, by feeding you something, by, organizing the way your life should be, but it's even ourselves, right? And that's why we put these people in these powerful areas, because we ourselves are prideful, and we think that we can, fix what's going on at work. We think that we can fix our marriages. We think that we can fix that that addiction that we have. We think that we can do things in our own strength, which in reality we can't. That's in our imagination. And in fact, we need to be liberated by that, knowing that, hey, that's great, man. I don't have to do it on my own. Like, I literally can come to the creator of the heavens, the earth, and the seas that did everything, and just handed it over to him. And then after that, just be faithful and patient, knowing that he's going to work it out for you somehow.
Yeah, good word.